Welcome to the Sales Squared Podcast, your destination for leveling up in sales, marketing, and business development.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Join us to hear real entrepreneurs with real experiences, engaging with real experts from the world of sales, business, and entrepreneurship. And now for another Sales Squared Value Bomb.
Alex, thank you so much for joining me today for this call. I'm super excited to chat. So just a little bit of background for everyone watching. Me and Alex connected a couple of weeks ago, and we had a super great conversation around sales, marketing, leadership, and I thought it would definitely be worth getting Alex on the call today. So Alex is an international speaker. He's an executive coach, a consultant, a best-selling author. He's doing a lot of great work for his for his clients, for his people, for his organization, and even on a countrywide scale. So thank you so much for joining us today, Alex, and I'm super excited to get into it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Cam. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
For sure. No worries, man. Well, let's get into it. So last time we spoke, Alex, we had a great conversation around sales, around marketing, around leadership. But I guess where I really wanted to start with today is we all get in business for a purpose, right? And that purpose can be for ourselves. It can be for financial freedom. It can be for our families. It can be for our community. It can be for our country. It can really be any reason, but most people get into business. They have this purpose. They have this thing they want to achieve, and they want to get there. So Alex, when you're teaching your clients, you're teaching your people, and you're running your workshops, your seminars and whatnot, how do you kind of teach others to ensure that they remain on that purpose as they begin their business, as they build their business, and as they grow that?
It's a very good question, and I wish people would ask themselves this question before they go into business. I remember my first day in business school. I can never forget, because I have never been made to feel so. There was just anyway. I'll tell you the story, and then you can tell how you feel about it. You know, the professor came. We were all excited. You know, business class, let's go. And it goes. You know, before we begin this session, the semester, I have a question for you all. Why do people go in business, right? And until then, I never even thought about it, right? Why do people go into business? And people say, to make money. Oh, some say fulfillment, satisfaction. Oh, because they have an idea, they have a dream, they have this. I was actually shocked at how many answers I got. I'm like, wow. And then the professor said something I thought was quite interesting. He says, every other person that said anything other than money, you're wrong. And that challenged me, because I didn't quite agree with that, actually. Mm-hmm. Making money is good, but I wanted to get, then I was planning to go into business, but it wasn't like, I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to be, like, I had a dream. And I wanted to fulfill this dream. Mm-hmm. So to me, wanting to go in business is to get a level of fulfillment, so that when you pass on, you leave a legacy, right? So now people say, that's so profound. Are you Mahatma Gandhi? No, you don't have to be Mahatma Gandhi. Like, how many people do we know have made millions and billions of, we see them all the time committing suicide. We see them all the time committing suicide. So, you know, ask Bill Gates, ask Mark Zuckerberg, and they'll tell you, ask Oprah Winfrey. I've read all their bios, I've watched all their videos on YouTube, and they all said they had a dream, they pursued it to get fulfillment. Some of them may not have used that word fulfillment, which is, again, another thing, because people confuse satisfaction for fulfillment. Completely different. Satisfaction is temporal. Fulfillment is eternal. So the essence of business, the essence of the pursuit of any dream is fulfillment. Now, when we get in, we need money, we need this, we need people. So many people actually get sidetracked into the professor's mindset. I call it the professor's mindset, which is to make money. And when you get sidetracked into to make money, then you lose it all completely. Your business may flourish. I just got off a Zoom call with my clients in Jamaica, one of the biggest organizations in Jamaica, flourishing, billions, like I'm talking billions, right? And we're back to the fundamentals, right? And this woman has a very beautiful heart, I told her. She's a CEO, and she says, I think she wants to get some level of fulfillment. She wants people to be fulfilled, but a lot of people driving the business are being driven by one thing and one thing only, which is money. And that often leads to destruction. So I know it was one question he asked, but I'm so passionate about this topic. People lose the focus on purpose because of money and because of profit. I tell organizations when I go in, and depending on the group I'm speaking to, whether it's board of directors, CEOs, the message is the same. I said, a lot of you have pressured your people to the extent that they've lost their purpose for the sake of profit. Don't confuse profit with purpose. If you do, you lose it all.
No doubt, it's an incredible point there, and I think when it comes down to it, we all want to make extra money. Of course, we do. It's
Absolutely.
It's nice to have money, but when we can actually focus on making a difference to our lives, to our families' lives, to our communities' lives, to our clients' lives, then I think that mindset switches from just chasing money and wanting more and more and more all the time to actually getting that kind of deep sense of fulfillment, so you can be you can finish the day and you can kind of feel that you're satisfied because you've made a difference. And one thing we always hear, Alex, is closing deals, right? So everyone's kind of chasing after the next deal, especially in the kind of sales world and in the
right.
Close this deal, I close that deal, I'm trying to close this deal, close this and that. We actually touched upon that last time we had a conversation, and then you said that you don't think anyone should be closing deals. You actually think they should be opening.
Yeah.
Opening
so
deals.
Absolutely, and this concept came with one of the big banks here in Toronto called me every year. They have a sales convention. They bring all their sales reps from all over the country to Toronto, and they wanted me to be the keynote speaker. And I flew down to Montreal. I'm in Toronto. Flew down to Montreal, met with the executives. They wanted to make sure that this was as powerful as it could get. And I realized that even the executives, the pressure was, Alex, they need to close sale. Give them a slam dunk. You're a motivational speaker. Let them close sale. Let them close sale. And on my way back home, I'm telling you, Cameron, I was on my way back on the plane, and then it struck me. They want me to teach anything I don't believe in. That's really what they want me to do. And the problem they were talking about, that our real estate agent, our mortgage brokers, they are not closing enough sale. That was the problem. The problem was the people have changed their mentality to closing sale. And I said, and I was thinking on the plane, I said, okay, you know what? I think I need to adjust this. And when I presented it eventually, they were all stunned. I said, how many people here, you've sold, let's say you've sold 100 houses in your real estate career or whatnot, and how many of those people have come back to ask you to sell their house so they can buy another one? Like, the percentage was low. I said, why? Because you keep closing sales. That's what you keep doing. You've closed 100 sales, real estate deals, but you've lost 100 customers. And people say, what are you talking about? Well, the example I gave them is the same example I'm going to give you. All things being equal, we just moved into this place. All things being equal, when somebody buys a house in 4 years, maybe 10 years, they want a bigger house or a nicer one or a smaller one, right? So, but if all you did, Cam, was to close the sale, now you close the sale, you took your profit, you run off. Well, when it's time for me to sell, I'm only just like, as I'm talking to you, there are like 3, 4, 5 real estate cards at the door. People saying, I sell house. If you want to sell your house, let me sell your house. Who am I going to call? Definitely not you. I haven't seen in 10 years. So I pick up a new guy and I call him, and he to close the sale and move on. And I said, you don't do that. Like, I filled my mortgage papers with you, so you obviously know my birthday, right? Mark it down. October 3rd is Alex's birthday. Send me a birthday card, and build a relationship. And I have friends who are buying home all the time. Who will I direct them to? To you. And I run this particular question with an example. I don't know if I told you this example. It's just fantastic. I've been using this example all over the world. It was, my son plays in the soccer team in a little town here, and where at the game, and the game was going on, and I happened to be standing near a fine gentleman, a very elderly guy. So I said, "Oh, you must be the grandfather of one of the players." He says, "Yeah, And we got talking. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, and blah blah blah." I said, "What about you?" He said, I'm a retired insurance broker. I said, "Oh, and that's interesting, insurance broker." So we started to talk, and I'm not sure how we got to this conversation. And he now shared a story that completely, literally sealed this principle in my mind. And he said, he mentioned the name, I won't mention the name of the business, but he said, "I used to sell insurance for them." He says, "When I sold insurance, I would build a relationship with the client." And he said, "Alex, up to their dog, I know the name of their dog. I write it down. Cam has a German Shepherd he called Bobby, right? Or Donald or whatever." And I write it down. And he says, whenever I see them or speak to them, I ask after their kids. He had so much intel. I call it personal intel in my upcoming book. You need to have personal intel on your clients. And he had all this personal intel. And here's another thing. So he said, when my clients were either maybe they are passing on or something's happening, some actually wrote it on their will and says all insurance must be dealt with this guy. So, and it says when it's time for retirement came, the company paid him $1 million, which is this never been heard of. This is not his bonus, is not his severance package, is nothing, just to give them that intel. And that is what they now do. So to the extent of closing, say, what was he doing? Was he just closing insurance deal? No, it was opening relationships, was opening sales. And it says he had so much sales, he became one of the biggest insurance salesmen in Ontario. So that's the concept. And what we've done now, we've put that concept into a book that is coming out soon.
It's an amazing story. It really, really is. And I think the thing is, everyone, is out there and they're talking about closing deals, but I think there has been a shift in the last maybe 10, 20 years in sales where they're a lot more relationship focused, which is great. And they're actually bringing that into their sales process. But, when they actually make that sale or close that sale, suddenly that interest seems to drop off a little bit. And maybe they don't get in contact as much. Maybe they don't, work on the relationship as much. But I think what you kind of expressed there, Alex, is that if we can actually continue that momentum after we open the sale, then we're going to have a lot more success in terms of not only with that client and the longevity for that customer, but them telling their network and spreading that message. And, I think it's a great, sense of karma that, your, the granddad who was at the soccer game, got £1 million when he retired just because he focused on relationship and he focused on opening that sales.
Absolutely.
So it's an awesome concept, and one I think everyone should really take note of. So, let's talk a little bit about growth. So, you're on your purpose, you're making sales, you're opening sales, and then you start to bring on a team. So you've got a team of people around you now, and you're still on your purpose, but every one of those people, they're on their purpose. They've got their own goals to achieve too. So do you have any advice for leaders who have teams around them to align that purpose that they have with their team while still allowing their team to make progress towards their goals? What would you kind of give in terms of that position?
So it's, again, another very interesting question I'm so passionate about. People confuse vision for purpose, and they confuse it for dreams. They confuse goals for objective. I actually have a full program on this as well. Purpose is the exact reason you were created. Nobody can fulfill your purpose but you. We can have 100 salespeople, 100 basketball players, but your purpose, those are talents. I tell people, again, that's another thing people confuse with talents and purpose. So purpose is what you were created for. Vision is how far you want to take it. How far you want to take it. Talents are the abilities you were given naturally by God to achieve the purpose you were created for. completely different. So people confuse, oh, Michael Jordan's purpose is, no, it's not basketball. That's his talent, right? So now, when you start a business, the business is often based on a vision, not a purpose. I started my purpose is to enable people to discover their purpose and to fulfill it and to build enterprise into it. So I now had a vision. Why don't we start a school where we teach people this? So that my purpose is not to start a school. That's the vision. The vision is the school is this channel. Now, but here's what I tell people. I say never take a job until you find your purpose and vision of the organization. Never take a job. Don't accept it, even if they pay you $100 million. Don't accept it. Except you find your purpose, because if you do, you will never be fulfilled. A vision is a purpose enabler. So it's like raising up the honey and the bees attract to it. So for leaders who hire people based on skills and abilities and qualification, you went to Harvard University, you went to Oxford University, you're going to suffer. And to use this fine lady I just spoke to, one of my clients, she says that you have no idea how much I have paid to even hire consultant people who have PhD to come do process engineering for us, and they couldn't even last year. It's because their purpose, they did not find their purpose in that vision. So I tell leaders, I say, look beyond qualifications. Look beyond qualifications. Look straight to the person's purpose. When you ask a question like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Those are giving you indications. The answer may not be clear-cut, but those kind of questions give you indications. Where do you want to be in 10 years? When I'm hiring, they come with a portfolio. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I'm like, no, I am not going to even open your file. I just want us to have a chat. And we have a chat, as somebody once told me. He says, thank you, sir, for the interview. He says, I have never been to such an interview where not even one question was related to what I have done. It's all about where I'm going. I said, because I need to know if where you're going, that's where we're going. Yeah. Because if you're not where we're going, then we're not going to last with each other. So leaders need to be looking beyond qualification to the purpose of the person to see if it fits with the vision of the organization.
No doubt. And I think, Alex, what you're saying, it goes against the grain a little bit. And, a lot of corporations, they're all about, to take it back again, closing deals. They're all about, what have you done? What's your CV like? What are your achievements? But do they actually look at the person, at their vision, at their purpose, and how they're going to give to that company and not just collect a paycheck? I think that's a really, really important question that corporations should be asking, and that we should be asking ourselves when we join a corporation or even start a business, to have that purpose locked down. So I think there we have it, Alex. Realize your purpose, kind of define it, work towards it, focus on building relationships, focus on connecting with people on a level that's kind of above that superficial level of what you've achieved and what accolades you have, and really focus on building that. So I think that's absolutely where we should be focusing, and I'm completely aligned with that. So Alex, where can we learn more? Where can we find more information like this? Where can we go for more inspiration, more motivation, and knowledge from you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, well, social media is the in thing now anyway, so I'm big on it. So you'll find me on Facebook. alexihama.com is my website. I also run a school called the School of Greatness. We're actually working on a massive technology infrastructure right now where we can be offering online courses. We actually have over 150,000 students in 45 countries. Wow. So we have School of Greatness Tanzania. For example, I haven't even been to Tanzania. I've been to Kenya. I had a conference in Kenya, and many people followed me from Kenya. So we set up the School of Greatness in Kenya, but there were some students who were actually from Tanzania. They said, oh, when I go back to my country, can I work with you to set up a campus? And I said, sure. And they work with us to set up a campus. So we've certified coaches in the UK, in Australia, all over the world with our methodology. And the methodology is very simple. It's the ability to combine spirituality with psychology and philosophy and physiology. So it's kind of, imagine a cocktail with those four in it. You'll never go broke. You'll never be dumb. You'll be sharp. So for me, something does not tie with the spiritual being, it has no place in the physical. So this may be a big foreign concept for some people, but that's really what it's based on. My books are out there. Welcome to Greatness, the Mystique of Leadership. Like I said, just find me online. alexihama.com is the website, or send me an email, alex@alexihama.com. And I always make myself available to be of any help.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, there you have it. Go find Alex on social media. Go find him online. Some amazing content. I can testify for it. Awesome. Alex, thank you so much for your time today, man. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely.